Now, this sensitive information policy that we provide, or that needs to be provided, the written identity theft plan, basically what it does, it's to protect, it's put in place to protect sensitive information that a company collects from customers and employees. Okay? Basically, any data, NPI, we'll talk about that in a little bit. NPI stands for non-public information that identifies a customer or employee and could be used to steal their identity. Think about this, such as names, addresses, phone numbers, bank accounts, credit cards, that type of stuff. Non-public information really is information that if I looked at you, I could not get. That personal and bank account information, credit cards, driver's license, those types, Social Security numbers, that is considered non-public information. Okay? There's several categories of red flags. We'll go through this pretty quickly. Alerts, notifications, warnings from a customer reporting agency. You know, that number one there talks about, there's several, I don't know if anybody on the call today is in the car dealership business, but when you pull a credit for the car dealerships, when they pull somebody's credit, there is alerts and stuff that come down if there's a possible problem with their Social Security number. So if you're doing something that's extending credit to people, you should probably have some sort of warnings coming from one of the credit bureaus for a consumer reporting agency. Suspicious documents. You know, somebody tries to provide information to you to get you to provide products or services, and they just don't look right. They look like they've been altered. Once again, it's simply heightening awareness, be looking for that type of stuff. Suspicious personal identifying information, that would be anything from driver's license to birth certificates, anything like that. Unusual use, suspicious activity related to covered account. So if someone has an account with you and you see some sort of suspicious activity with it, this would be more like in a financial institution. If all of a sudden you see funky stuff going on with their bank account or their savings account, and it's not something, it's something that's way out of the ordinary, like say they've been a client for years, for many years, now all of a sudden something crazy is going on with their account, that would be called suspicious activity, okay? Or, you know, notice from customers, victims of identity theft, law enforcement authorities, or other persons regarding possible identity theft in connection with covered accounts held by a financial institution or creditor. So this is just another category as well. Just a few examples. We talked about this one, customers' reluctance to remove ID from a wallet and doesn't want you to look at it. I had to cash a check not too long ago at Bank of America. One of the things I think is cool is they don't make a copy of your ID or anything like that, because the strip that's on the back of your driver's license actually has all your information. So all they ask you to do is swipe it in their computer system, you know, the little ATM debit thing. So that's a great thing, because therefore the bank teller has absolutely no contact with your ID, your personal information, or anything like that. It's swiped right into their computer system and then encrypted. It's a beautiful system. Or so if somebody doesn't want their swiped or, you know, their ID copied, that could be a potential red flag. You know, here's another thing. If somebody provides, say they, you know, hey, yeah, I've been in the state for 3 years, and they go to give you a driver's license, and it's an out-of-state driver's license. Well, Florida law says within 60 days you have to get a new driver's license if you've moved into the state. If they've been here 3 years and they still hold an out-of-state driver's license, that could be a potential red flag situation. Okay? So moving on to Graham-Leach-Bliley. This law has actually been in existence since '99. Some folks are very familiar with this one. And it actually deals with a little more with financial privacy. The financial privacy rule, the safeguard rule, and then the pretexting, which we'll talk about in just a second. The GLB Act requires companies to give consumer privacy notice. So if they're going to share your information with somebody, with another company or another entity, they've got to notify you. And also you have the right to limit some, but not all, the sharing of that information. Okay? Applies to any organization that maintains personal financial information regarding its clients, customers, or employees. Non-public information, the NPI we talked about earlier, lost under the wrong set of circumstances may result. Now this one is crazy numbers here, folks. Fines of up to $1 million per occurrence, 10 years jail time, executives, removal of management. Now, please understand, I don't tell you these types of things to scare you, but to just let you know that they're very, very serious about protecting people's information. So we just want to make sure that we get everybody trained and get your policies in place, and we can help you with that as well. Now the pretexting, this is called phishing. Now this is not going out with the hook, line, and sinker and going out fishing for fish. This is a computer term, social engineering, and the phishing, P-H-I-S-H, is when someone is trying to hack into your system without you knowing about it. This would simply be all these little Trojan-type things, the virus-type things that you can get on your computer, malware, malicious software that tries to get in, and all it's trying to do is look for personal information that it can take out of your computer without you even knowing about it. So one of the things that they want to do is to have computers protected, either through firewalls or virus software, that type of thing as well. Okay, so software, user password is not enough when it comes to stuff like that because the internet is so wide open. Okay, so both of these, FACTA and the GOB, here's what they do. Both laws require that you appoint in writing a security compliance officer. Now, please understand that's not a big major deal. If we were working with your company, it would just simply be a point of contact, which would probably be the person that's listening to the webinar now. And usually it's just someone that if a law were to change, I could call up and say, for example, Shauna, hey, listen, Shauna, this has changed. Here's a new law. I'm faxing you the information. Please stick it in your book. I mean, it's a very simple process. It's not like it's a major deal, okay? Each business must have a written security policy, okay? Training every employee on that policy is essential. Here's the thing. If you had this policy in place and you had, let's just say, once we use 50 again, it's a good round number, 50 employees, and 25 have been through the training, but 25 have not. If one of those 25 people are involved in the breach and your company didn't train, then you're still basically leaving yourself wide open. So training all the employees is a very simple process. Making sure that they have a confidentiality form signed stating they've been through the proper training, very, very, very essential. So if you did happen to have a breach, here's the thing, we almost said we can't stop identity theft, but if you were to have a breach and you were to be audited by the FTC, for example, they would ask you, where is your book? Where is your identity theft book? And you would pull it out and say, here's my policy, here's my training, all of my employees have been through the training, here's confidentiality forms. You know, what they're really looking for, folks, because they know they can't stop identity theft, is they're looking for the people who know about it but aren't doing anything about it. And the biggest part of my job is probably 95% of the people that I speak with have never heard about these regulations. And so it's very perplexing to them as to realizing, hey, why isn't the government letting us know? When I first got involved with doing the identity theft prevention, one of the things I did was I got on the phone with the Federal Trade Commission and spoke for about an hour with the lady. And here's the scenario that she gave me as to why they're not notifying all of the businesses out there and physically sending out information to notify people. Is if you were a general contractor, for example, and you were building a home, if the codes change to building a home, then it's up to you. The burden of finding out everything is on the contractor himself. And generally, the contractor is going to find out that there's a change in the code because they're going to fail an inspection somewhere along the way. And you say, well, last week it was okay. Well, this week it's not because the code's changed. So the burden of finding out everything is on the contractor. Same thing with a business owner. That's unfortunate, but that's the way it is, and that's why I have my job is simply educating folks on the upcoming laws and helping you guys out, okay? So must create a culture of security by implementing a regular schedule of employee training to be able to make sure that is done. NPI, we talked about it just a second ago, but what is non-public information? Just a little more in-depth. Driver's license, Social Security, birth dates, address, insurance. I mean, anything that can identify a specific person or entity, that is what we would call non-public information. Okay?